Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I'm out here working on the road for the new woodyard. I stripped all the topsoil off. I got a big pile back there. Had a giant cherry stump right there. I'm filling everything back in with some shale. I probably took about 6 inches of topsoil off of here, and I wanted to put a couple inches of shale on it, and then once we get closer, we'll stone this road just like the road going all the way back to the house. But it's coming out good. I want to make a nice road because it's going to get traffic, you know, log trucks, heavy things like that. And so far it's looking pretty good. I'm not seeing any soft spots or anything like that. Next up, I need to dig some more shale out of my shale pit, also known as the stump pit. And first though, I think I need to move a little bit of that pile to make some room. All right, got a nice hole here. It's gonna go probably at least to the back of the excavator, and I think I can fit everything I need in there. What I was thinking, you know, I'll put what's left of that brush pile in there first. Maybe some of this stuff, it's been dead for a long time and down. Put that in there, start a fire. Put the stumps in there, and I should be able to burn some of them up, you know? And I got some more treetops, so we could use it as a burn pit first, and then a stump burial ground when it's done. That should work. I'm gonna leave the excavator here. I did leave a way out in case some critter wasn't paying attention tonight, but I think they're smart enough not to do that. Over here, I got a real nice pile of shale. Look at that. Sun's probably in your eyes now. Very nice stuff. It'll compact well. Needs to get a little bit wet first, like this road here. But yeah, coming along. But anyway, Melissa has dinner ready. I'm gonna head over to the house and I'll report back tomorrow. All right, got to make another firewood delivery. This is number 5, the 5th load in the new truck. That's $1,750 worth of firewood. We sell it anywhere from $300 to $375 a cord delivered, and that depends on how far the customer is, and also if the load is all oak or a mix of oak, cherry, and maple. So 5 loads, $1,750. Plus we had a guy this week come and pick up a cord, and right now Levi's down here at the woodyard. We just sold some white oak lumber. So between firewood and lumber this week, heavy on the firewood, we sold $2,400 worth. Now, I'm going to do everyone a favor. I'm not going to talk about financial advice because you don't want that from me, believe me. But what I wanted to talk about are some things that have helped me over the years. And as they always say, I wish I knew then what I know now. But when Melissa and I first got married, we were broke. I mean, broke, you know? And every day I was trying to make money to figure out how to pay bills. You know, like the electric bill is due tomorrow. I need to make sure I have enough money, you know, to pay the electric bill, to pay the mortgage. And I was always focused on making money for today. to meet all of our needs. And it was a difficult time. It was. Plus, you know, we had Hunter, our son with autism. We were just starting to figure all that out. I mean, it was rough. It really was. And it was like that for a lot of years. And I learned something over time to not worry. And I know it sounds easier than it is, but don't worry about the money for today. Worry about the money for tomorrow. And what I mean is this. Back then, you know, I started selling firewood back then. I did everything. I mean, I built decks. I did all kind of side work, you know, plus my real job. But back then, I started to sell firewood. And I had a wheelbarrow, a chainsaw, and an axe, and I would sell firewood. So you're putting in all that work today, but you're not going to get any money for it at that point. It's going to be down the road. You know what I mean? Like the next year. But the next year, I realized we had some money for Christmas. You know what I mean? Because of the firewood. And it got me thinking, you know, besides everything else that I was doing, how important it was to focus a little bit of your time, at least, if not half of your time, on money for tomorrow, not just money today. And that has served me well over the years. It really has. It changed our lives. I had to start the truck there and get a little air conditioning, but I published a video the other day on this truck, this new Ford F600, and the majority of the people thought it was a good decision, but there were a lot of people that said that truck will never pay for itself. You know, they called me names. It's the dumbest thing that I've ever done. And in my opinion, it's very short-sighted to see things that way or to look at things that way. They're looking at the money spent today. You know, they're not looking at an investment into the future. Now, let's take this past week for just a quick example here. This truck hauled $1,750 worth of firewood. Now, that is 5 loads, okay? So if you did that for a year, 5 loads a week, and it was nothing making those deliveries. Those were like after dinner, go make a delivery, maybe one early the next morning. It doesn't matter. It took no time at all. But if you're to do 5 a week for a year, which we're not going to do that this year. I mean, this year we will sell a little over 100 cords of wood. But if you do 5 a week for a year, okay, so 5 times 52, 260 cords in 1 year. I think that's pretty achievable for, if not next year, the year after, okay? So 260 cords in a year since we got the Evo firewood processor. That is doable. Now, I don't know if I want to get to that point. We do a lot of other things, but for these numbers, let's look at this. 260 cords in a year times 10 years. This is a 10-year truck, okay? 2,600 loads of firewood over 10 years at today's prices, and by the time you get to the 10-year mark, it's going to go up. But 2,600 loads times average of $350 is $910,000 over 10 years. I look at things down the road now more than I do in the moment, you know? And what happens is you put in all this work, you're cutting firewood, you know, you're sawing lumber on the mill. I'm not selling that stuff right away. Now, we just sold some today, but you're spending the time now and you're investing in yourself that you're going to make money later with it. You know, when I started this YouTube channel, this is a really good example. What was it, 8 years ago? 9 years ago? I don't even know. I devoted a lot of time to this channel, and I started off, it's just something that I wanted to do. I never dreamed, you know, when I first started that I could make a living at this. And the first year, I mean, it took us over a year to reach 1,000 subscribers. You know, we never had anything that just like blew up overnight. It was a grind from the start. And, you know, I was editing video at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before I would leave to go to my job. And I started making money on YouTube, but it was nothing. If you figured the hours that I had wrapped up into it and what I was actually paying, I was probably making 25 cents an hour for the first 2 years. But once I started making money, I thought to myself, I said, you know, if I keep putting the work in now, it's going to pay off down the road. And sure enough, it did. And it's not because I was trying to make money. It was something that I wanted to do. And if you do a pretty good job at something that you like doing, the money's going to come, which is where we're at today. You know what I'm saying? So I put all that time in early on, and now today we are seeing the rewards of all that work. It's just investing in the future, everything that you do. And like I said, there's Hunter over there. Hunter stole my drink. But like I said, when we first got married, it was hard. It was difficult to devote any time at all with the hopes of making money down the road, because you were so focused on everything that's happening right now. I need to make money right now because I got to pay the electric bill, or my truck broke and I need the money to fix that truck. And you're always focused on that. But once I started looking more towards the future, and you know, over time the money just comes, you know. And now between YouTube, selling firewood, selling lumber, we sell fire starter, you know, all these little things you put the work in a long time ago, and now it pays off. And you have multiple sources of income that come in from all sides, and it's just so much easier now than it used to be. And I hope I'm not rambling and I'm making sense, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're struggling, or you know, this video would be better suited for younger people just getting started, but focus on something that you like to do. And you may not make any money at it today, tomorrow, the next week, the next year, the next 2 years. But if you stick with it and it's something you like doing, and it's a product or service that people use, the money's going to come. It is. It may take some time. And while that's all in the process, you're already starting something else, you know. And then as the money comes in, it's overlapping. You know, you get it from many different sources coming in. And it's worked well for us. It has. And, you know, it was slow going. It was. I'm 58 years old right now. I mentioned this before. I thought I finally made it in life when I got my job in corporate America. I never even had paid vacation till I was probably 45 years old, you know. And once I got that job in corporate America, they were paying me over six figures to ride around in a white pickup truck, and I didn't like it at all. I did not like it one bit. And I worked there, you know, in oil and gas for about 10 years. And while I was working there, I started this YouTube channel. And then I left my real job. I don't even know. Is it 4 years ago now? Something like that. Yeah. But it's been a long time. It has. But anyway, we're going to get on the road. We're going to go dump this load of firewood, and then we're going to talk more about this when we get back. All right, so I just got back to the house here. I was just looking. The truck has 230 miles on it so far. Had a few on it when I got it, driving it home from the dealer. Then I went to the stone yard just to get it weighed to see what I could haul. Then I hauled 5 loads of firewood. That's all that I've driven the truck. I don't plan on driving this unless it's hauling something out of the gate or into the gate. So right now, 230 miles divided by 5, I'm averaging 46 miles per delivery. So say 100 a year, 4,600 miles. I think that between firewood deliveries, stone, using it here on the property occasionally, I may even take it down to the cabin once. I have some plans for it down there. But I think my estimate of 7,500 miles a year should be pretty accurate. But I got to show you what I got on this firewood delivery. One, I got a nice little card. The people that I delivered to, they have kids and they watch our channel. And then check this out. My dump truck. He explained to me how he did this, and I knew nothing of it. He takes a picture of the truck, and then there's an app, and it sends that image to this thing, and the picture's on there, and then you put plastic beads on it, and then you put some paper over it and put an iron on it, and he made a little dump truck. How cool was that? It's pretty nice. Never got one of those before. Look at that flag there. But anyway, we were talking about making money. I sawed the sideboards on the mill the other day. That's white oak, and they're 1.5 inches thick, 8 inches wide. I put a decent size log on the mill. Well, I just needed 4 sideboards, plus I have 2 extra in case I want to put some across the back. Anyway, I didn't know what to do with the rest of the log, so I decided to saw it the same way, 8 inches wide, 1.5 inches thick. Told Levi to put it on Facebook Marketplace, and that guy came and picked it up today. So that was $360 out of that one log, and I got my sideboards and $360. That's the way to do it. I didn't have to stack and sticker it, nothing like that. Matter of fact, it was still sitting on the mill. We just picked it up with a mini skid. They loaded it up, gone. That guy's a good contact. He was a nice guy, and he has several low boys, and he hauls heavy equipment. Well, they are constantly, I'm sure, tearing up their trailer decks. And he said when we have more, he will buy it as well. The other thing is just cribbing and things like that. If you find the right people, you know, I'm going to look more into that. Yeah, look at this stuff. That is good stuff. It really is. You know what else is good stuff? The high-quality American meat and seafood from Good Chop delivered right to your door in a box. I mean, who doesn't like a nice box of quality meat and seafood? Good Chop. It's good stuff. You know how a lot of times when you go to the store that you normally shop at, selection can kind of be limited and quality can be hit or miss? Well, Good Chop removes the guesswork. They deliver vacuum-sealed cuts, frozen at peak freshness, so your freezer stays stocked and you can cook when you want. Something else that you need to know, Good Chop sources all their meat and seafood exclusively from American farms and fisheries. You support local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the U.S. They also have an outstanding variety. We all like variety, right? You can customize your box with over 100 menu items, including USDA choice and prime steaks, 100% grass-fed beef, wild-caught seafood, organic chicken, and responsibly raised pork, and a lot more. They also have a 100% money-back guarantee. Good Chop sources only the good stuff, which is why they feel confident about their 100% money-back guarantee. Love Good Chop or get your money back. Go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code Morgans50 or click the link in the caption below to get $50 off plus free shipping on your first box. That's $50 off plus free shipping using code Morgans50. That's a nice looking hole right there. That really is. And this is what I'm getting out of it. Some nice shale, a little bit of clay mixed in there, just a little bit. But this will be perfect for the pad site for the new building out here. I don't really know how much is here. I'm guessing there's at least 4 triaxle loads, you know, at least 100 ton right there. But it's going to take quite a bit because the building, you know, it's going over there. By the time you strip the topsoil off, you're probably going to take a good 5 inches off of it. And then I want to build everything up, you know, a couple inches at least, maybe 6 inches. So I'm going to need like a foot of material. I can figure it out over the entire area where the building goes and for the road that goes around it. But anyway, back to what we were talking about before. I think it's human nature. Everybody wants everything right now, and it just doesn't work that way. For some people it may. It didn't work for me like that. It was a long, slow process, but once I learned to start focusing more on tomorrow's money instead of today's money, that's when things started to get easier for us. And I want to be clear about something. You know, we sell firewood, lumber. We make money on YouTube, the fire starter. We do sponsored videos. We have multiple sources of income. But like firewood, lumber, that kind of stuff, I know some people that are extremely successful at it. But there's a lot easier ways to make money. But it comes back to, you know, you may find an easier way to make money, but if you don't enjoy doing it and it's not something that you're passionate about, it's probably not going to last real long. You know, you have to enjoy what you're doing. And I just love the wood. I do. I like firewood. I like sawing lumber. I like everything about it. So, you know, I just want to be clear. There are easier ways to make money. If that's all you're out to do, you know, get a job in corporate America like I did. It was easy and wasn't real stressful. And I drove around in my pickup truck and had meetings and more meetings and went to safety meetings. And it was an easy way to make a living. And everybody's different. You know, some people, that's a perfect fit for them. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just not for me. My mind, I'm always thinking about what's next, you know, not what I'm doing right now. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I think there's a balance there that I need to reach. But anyway, that's my story on that. Focus on tomorrow's money, not today's. And like I said, most of the people that watch our channel probably have figured that out. Not most, but I'm sure a lot have. This would be better aligned for a younger person just getting started or somebody that's struggling. You're always just spinning your wheels. That's what I felt like early on. You weren't getting anywhere. And it's because I was worried about today, not tomorrow. And you got to focus on tomorrow. So how's Buck doing, Eva?
He's doing really good. Yes, he's growing fast. I don't want to jinx it, but he's a pretty chill puppy. He doesn't like to do much.
We thought the same thing about Archie when he was little.
He lays down any chance he gets.
Yeah.
He doesn't like walks. He doesn't.
He's liking this weather because he does not like the heat.
No, he does not like the heat at all. So this is better.
Yeah, it's much cooler right now. Oh, Buck. How you doing, huh? What's with the harness? Is that the new thing now?
Yeah, he's pretty stubborn, so we had to switch to a harness because I don't want to pull his neck.
Right.
And he doesn't move when he doesn't want to. So
when he gets hot, he just lays down. He's done.
Yep. Hi, Buck.
Huh. Yeah, he's a good dog.
He is a good dog.
And the other dogs have taken to him pretty well.
Yeah, he's learned his place. He doesn't really care to interact with them if they don't.
If they don't want to.
Yeah, but he loves eating things.
Yeah. Hey, Buck. I'm making progress out here, but there's a lot of work out here yet. A lot. My goal is to get the building site ready, you know, right where the building's going to go, and a little bit around it. And to do that, I got this one giant maple to take down yet, and then strip all the topsoil off, bring the shale over, and, you know, get it placed on the pad, rolled in, and then the building site will be ready. I can stone the road, that won't take long, because I want to get it done because the weather's so nice right now, and it's not going to last. It's feeling a lot like fall right now, actually. But we get that part done, and then I can call Pole Barns Direct and say, hey, the building site is ready. And then if anything falls off their schedule, if something else isn't ready, I may be able to get mine moved up. Because right now, I think it's set for the end of October or 1st of November. But once I get this all done, I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do. I got to get to the cabin. I got to do a little clearing job for one of the neighbors. And then I can come back to this. But this will be ready for them, you know? So that's kind of what the plan is. Right now, I'm just kind of cleaning up all the woody material and sod, what's left of the Japanese stilt grass, off the surface here. You know, I could just push all this into the topsoil pile and it would rot eventually, but the topsoil is pretty nice up here, so I want to save it. I'll use some, and I mean, we could even sell topsoil, you know. It's not like it's processed topsoil, but you put this stuff in a pile, and next year, it's hard to tell the difference. It really is. It becomes really nice stuff. You know, it breaks down a little bit. It's nice having good topsoil. Nice having good dirt in general. We're very lucky around here. I've got that nice shale pit there. Everything I need is right here. You just have to get to it, get it out of the ground, and then you can use it. Now this bucket here, this is wider than the rake, and it works better for what I'm doing right here. I don't care if I take a little bit of dirt with this. This is where you want a wide bucket. But we got another load of firewood loaded up. That will be number 6, the 6th load on the new F600, and I am loving that truck, by the way. The dump trailer, a lot less money, no doubt about it. Great trailer, and I've hauled a lot of loads in that trailer, and I will continue to, actually. One thing we're thinking about doing, I found one guy that will buy slabs off the sawmill. One guy so far. But if we can get a few more people like that, I can just park the dump trailer right by the sawmill. Slabs go right into it, and then I can deliver them. It's not a lot of money, but it's worth my while to do that, you know? A lot of people, you know what they use dump trailers for? It's just one more thing I don't have time for. But a lot of people use them kind of as roll-offs, and they'll charge people like $250, and they'll say, hey, you can, the dump trailer will sit at your location for however many days, you know, 2 days, let's say. Then the people load it up with trash and debris or whatever, and then they go back and pick up the dump trailer, take it to the landfill, that wouldn't be a bad side gig really, because you know, you pay by the ton at the landfill, at least this one here, and a full dump trailer load is usually like $50 or something. You would just have to make sure that the people didn't put in, you know, something in there that's not allowed, like old televisions and batteries and things like that. But it's like anything else, you know, it would take work and time, but that wouldn't be a bad side gig if you had a dump trailer that you're not using all the time yourself. You could generate a little income with that as well. Yeah, this will work out good actually. Getting all this stuff off of it takes a little bit of time, but when I strip the topsoil, it'll be much nicer than having all this stuff mixed in with it. See how I'm kind of rocking there a little bit? Sometimes I tolerate it. I'm just not sitting just right. It makes it a lot harder to kind of just scrape the surface, but it's not like I'm going to be sitting here a long time, so I'm just not right now. You can see it wobbling around some. Got to take a look behind me here. Yeah, I'm okay for a little bit. Just need to get seated nice and flat, put your blade down, and it's a lot smoother. This stuff here I can just put in a pile. Once we put all the stumps in the stump pit, you can kind of dump this stuff down in there. It'll go down and around them, and you know, I've said it before, clearing land is difficult work. All those jobs, you know, big heavy highway jobs I used to work on and stuff, you know, I paid a little bit of attention to the clearing contractors just because I was always into the wood thing, but you didn't realize how much work that was at the time. It's a lot of work. Clearing land, getting rid of stumps. Now they grind everything with big grinders that go deep, you know, get all the roots and stuff. Big mulchers, then the big trees, feller bunchers, huge horsepower, all that kind of work. Got a phone call. Scammer. Never ends. Cost me 2 seconds of time. But I know one thing, before it rains, or before I burn again, we need rain badly. We don't, it's so dry, as you can tell from the dust. It's incredibly dry right now for this time of year especially. Normally in August, you know, we get a little dry spell, but I don't think it's rained to amount to anything for probably 3 weeks. Just a little here and there. So this is kind of what I'm after right here. I'm just getting rid of the big stuff. I'm not going to clean that up over there yet because this tree has to go down. I'm going to drop it right over there on that mess. I may come back out here this evening and do that one. But that one needs to come out. This one needs to come out. There's more down in here, but the way I see it is this, where the buggy's sitting right there, you know, that's the road. It's a straight shot till you get to that point. Then that road's going to come through here, and it'll loop all the way around the building. You'll be able to drive all the way around it, and that will be for the building. The actual firewooding is probably going to be over that way more, but we'll get to that. Right now, focusing on the building. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. There's still a few little sticks here and there, but I got most of that stuff out of there. And once you strip this off, get it all mixed together, put it in a pile, it'll rot down. There'll be some really nice topsoil. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.